Welcome back to the Doomsday Clock, where today we're going to be discussing the 2017 film Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. My name is Jack, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Eric.
Hello, I'm Eric.
So, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first Marvel movie that you saw in theaters, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sirree.
Yeah, so this was another school trip, which is insane to think about in retrospect, that we went on a school trip to go see Guardians Volume 2. It was, the theater was basically full
Mm-hmm.
of
I
all of us
still, I
that
still
went.
remember exactly where I was sitting too, like watching it.
I think I could if you took me back to that theater. I think I could
Mm.
be like right around this area.
It
But I
was
also
just
might get it
like,
mixed up with Age of Ultron.
well, with like Civil War and stuff like that, they were like, "Do you want to go?" And I was like, "No." They told me Guardians 2. I was like, "Are you stupid?"
Of course I do.
Of course I do.
Of course I want to go see Guardians 2.
Why would I not
But
want to
how
go
many
see
people
Peak?
did want to see Guardians 2 is the question. How many people did go see Guardians 2 is
That's a great question.
the second question. So this time, let's see, you won last week, so I get to choose. We're gonna do box office because I don't remember, and so we're gonna do box office.
Oh God. Okay.
All right, 3, 2, 1. I don't remember if this movie broke $1 billion.
I just said
truly
it
don't.
because
So
it was low-key kind of just a lazy guess, just because I was like, eh.
yeah, so I said
We'll see.
876 million. You said 1 billion.
Yeah, I just did a
Guardians
flat
of the
bill.
Galaxy Volume 2 made $863 billion.
$1 billion. Dang.
Million dollars. 863 billion. $863 million. So that is a win for me.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about this one. I thought it would have. My first guess was gonna be 900, just flat 900 mil.
I
So,
thought I was like it's between like 600 and 800 to me. I was like it's somewhere in that range, and I don't remember what in that range.
I
and so
honestly
like, let's just
didn't
do
think
800.
it broke $1 billion, but I was just kind of, I just threw it out there as a blanket
Yeah,
guess.
it was your way to put a high guess without.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. And also, I would have been surprised, if it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this one just made 1.2. Like this one
Mhm.
just did insane. But that means I get to start out by talking about what I think of this movie.
Yeah, go for it.
And I really, really like this movie. This movie is great. This movie has so much heart. It's so funny. This movie is unbelievably funny. I think that Drax has some of my favorite jokes in the whole MCU. In this movie, so much heart. As I said, I think that the emotional core of this movie works more for me than the emotional core of Guardians 1. I think that everyone, it feels like they've just picked up straight from Guardians 1 in a way that not a lot of these sequels really have. And that's great. It feels like a true sequel, like a true continuation when some of these have felt less like that. And man, what if they just made like a whole bunch of these? That would have been awesome. Except for they probably would have, I don't know if they would have gotten worse, but time passes. But yeah, I love this movie. I loved this movie when I walked out of it when I was 13, 14 years old, and I still love this movie now at the age that I am.
I also, I'm a little sick, by the way. Podcast people, by the way.
He's a little sick, and now we're on a 3-hour time difference, so
Yes.
everything's going great. I'm recording this from a Verbo off of my laptop, so if my audio sounds worse, that's why.
This is the most not scuffed podcast yet, though, surprisingly.
Surprisingly, yeah.
But no, I also do really love this movie. Me personally, I still prefer the first one just a little bit more, just a little bit. But I also love this movie a lot. My only issues with it are low-key kind of nitpicks. But I think this movie looks really good. I love the score again. And I actually
Tyler Bates
have a ton to say about the licensed music. The licensed music is really good. And it has one of my favorite twists related to the villain. Cause
Yeah.
I mean, but no, I love the movie. I love the themes in this movie. James Gunn, the gun did not misfire. So
The gun did not misfire. This is the themes and such movie. I have this movie divided up into like the scenes like we do. And so this first one that I have is just the opening, talking about this, like the title drop, all that kind of stuff. And just saying, why did RDJ looks so bad in Civil War at the de-aging? Because Kurt Russell looks flawless
Yeah.
here.
I also just love,
He looks so good.
like, going ahead a little bit, that Ego, the person slash creature, whatever, just looks like Kurt Russell. I love that.
Yeah. It it's very funny to be like, well, we're casting like Kurt Russell's an incredible casting for this role for many reasons, right? One of which is the fact that out of universe it's Kurt Russell, and one of which is just like the performance he gives is very good here, right? It is very funny that he's just Kurt Russell in this. He just looks like Kurt Russell in
Yeah.
this.
And
Um,
um the vibes are just so good here.
the vibes are so good here. This is Chekhov's brandy, and Chekhov's plant. Both are so many setups and payoffs in this movie,
Hmm.
because it's good, and that's how that usually works. Um, and then like the transition through the plant. What are we cooking?
Yeah, no, that dude,
We are
literally, like, the
we're
opening
cooking
scene
so
just has
much.
so much sauce, dude. They cared so much about this movie.
It's the way that it's like, oh, we're back. Like, I love Doctor Strange. Like we talked about how much we liked Doctor Strange last week and how much we enjoyed it. And I think that the biggest issue with that movie is that like while it had sauce, like it could have had more, you know. And I feel like this movie is like all of the sauce that you wanted out of like the last few Marvel movies you're getting right now,
Well,
full
Doctor
sauce.
Strange had, like, a lot of visual sauce, but, like, there is missing sauce
Y-
within the story. This one has it all.
Yeah, yeah, this one has it all. And 34 years later is such a crazy gap to think about.
Hmm.
I don't know the last time that would be like the biggest like blank years later that I've seen in a movie in a long time.
Yeah. I love how the title drops, or, like, the locations or whatever kind of look in this movie.
Yeah, yeah, they look really nice. Let's talk about Harvey Larry batteries. So,
Sensitive nipples, though. My goat, Drax.
so it. So okay, so a couple things. One, the banter is perfect immediately,
Hmm.
right off the bat. It's crazy how just immediately it's just back into the Guardians. They feel like the characters from the first movie, but like slightly evolved. Rocket's winking is so funny. Like okay, so here's the thing. I think that Groot saying I have not Groot, Drax saying I have sensitive nipples here is like kind of funny. Like I think it's funny enough. I think the payoff for it later makes this so much funnier.
Yeah. I, I, I honestly, unless I have, like, a specific line I want to call out, I'm really not going to talk about the humor too much, because it's just, it's really good throughout the whole movie. You know what I mean?
It's so funny.
Like, I don't
Like I
need to
mean,
point out that the banter is good every 5 seconds. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Like let's just say what it is. Harbulary batteries is probably a top 5 joke in the MCU.
Yeah.
Annulax batteries, Harbulary batteries. Like it's
Hmm.
just not even close.
Yeah. And then the
It's great.
vibes are just so okay. First off, before I get to the vibes, Baby Groot is the start of the end. Unfortunately, it's not his fault, but he is the baby trend taking form.
He
He
is.
is the origin.
He's oh my gosh, he's pre Baby Yoda.
That's what I'm saying, dude. He's the start of the trend.
When was the Mandalorian developed? I don't know.
Well,
I
whatever
don't
the
think we
case, this
know.
predates Mandalorian probably by a good, like, even in
It it,
development.
pre, it predates Mandalorian by 2. I don't know if it predates it in development because it came out in 2019, so it might have been in development, but hard to say. He is the beginning of the end. He is very cute in this movie.
Yeah, no, that's not a dig to him. Baby Groot is kind of
No,
goated.
what came after him is not his fault.
Yeah, it's the unfortunate case for him, but let me
This
read.
opening's so perfect though.
Yeah,
With
I,
the Mr. Blue Sky title, like the title drop with the needle drop of Mr. Blue Sky,
hmm
like it sets up their banter. It sets up all of the group dynamics so well.
the
Like
long
it's
take of
just so well done.
following Baby Groot as he dances around while everybody fights in the background.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
will say,
It's great.
me personally, I kind of prefer the first movie title drop just a little bit more. But
I prefer.
this one doing the whole. It's basically the same thing, except there's a fight behind. The dancing.
Yeah, I prefer the title drop of the first one, but I prefer the sequence of the second one. If that
Yeah,
makes
I
sense.
I, I think I think I agree. Is what I'm trying to. The actual specific
Yeah,
title drop though, and,
yeah.
like,
Guardians one,
come and get your
100%.
love. Even though I love you, Mr. Blue Sky, come and get your love. Such a banger for an opening too.
Phenomenal song. Then Peter and the High Priestess get a little freaky.
It's so funny. It's actually so
It's
good.
very, very funny. I love the delivery of like family reunion,
Mm-hmm.
yay! Like, and I think that Rocket stealing the batteries feels so in character because
Yeah.
like they all grew in the first movie, but not like they're not all like good people now.
Yeah. I'm gonna touch on that a little bit later, specifically with because I'll get there later. Trust.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
but Nebula
We'll get
being the
there.
reward is a cool motivation because you're like, well, okay, are they just doing this to get paid? And then it
Yeah, and
reveals,
I mean,
nope.
and like the answer is yes, kind of, but also they want Nebula to be in prison.
Right.
So then we get to the ship, and I think that we get a very funny line from Quill. He's like, where Gamora says he's sensitive about his dad. He says, "I'm not sensitive about it. I just don't know who he is." That's very funny.
Mm-hmm.
I think that. What do you think about Drax's advice to Peter in this scene?
Well, I love any little drops of Drax lore I can get, but I think it's a very nice
Yeah,
payoff for later. Um,
I
for
think so
a
too.
very good moment with Peter and Gamora.
Yeah,
I also wrote it's insanely in character for Rocket to steal those batteries. Don't care.
it's so in character. It's unbelievable in character. I think like here we get the "it's not right" three-peat setup. The first one.
Mm-hmm.
We get maybe my favorite. I think my favorite Drax delivery in this entire movie, where he says that Rocket stole the batteries, and Rocket's like, "Why'd you say that?" And he says, and I quote, "I don't know why they're after us. What a mystery this is." It's so funny.
This movie
And
is
then
actually it's just so good. It's so funny.
I think this is. I would say this is the funniest Guardians movie.
Well, it's definitely funnier than three because three's not trying to be as funny. Um,
Yeah,
I don't know, funnier than one. I could see the argument for sure.
I think it's funnier than one. I don't know if it actually is, but I do think that it is. I think that a lot of the jokes work better for me in this one.
Mm-hmm. I think that's fair.
Um, I love the idea of the Sovereign Ship arcade. They're like, no, we can't risk our perfect lives
Dude, that's what I
in
was.
these
I
ships.
love that
We're
it's like
just
a
like send
video
out
game.
remote pilots, and then like it's like an arcade. It's so awesome. And then we set up Quill and Rocket's bickering and rivalry in such a perfect way. It puts us and the characters in like this perfect headspace for their arcs that like are coming in this movie. Like it's set up so early, and like because I think it's not set up it like the opening scene is pretty much like them working together. Not I don't say perfectly as a team because like Drax is like I'm gonna jump inside the beast, um, but it sets them like working together very very well. And
Mm-hmm.
then you get to them on the ship, and it's like oh yeah they're not they're very dysfunctional.
They're
They're not
still
perfect.
they're a team, but they're still their own characters, and those characters are not
Yes,
really built to be on a
it's
perfect forming team. You know.
it's back to being the D&D party where it's like yeah, they work together well, but at the same time it all kind of doesn't work out perfectly all the time.
Yeah. I do love. I'll just touch on this now. The world building in these movies is it's so good. I love
It's very very
every
good.
like. There's like so many factions and stuff like that, and every faction you can
Mhm.
just tell is so distinct. It's got their own rules, cultures. Because like, look at the Sovereign dog. Look at them, and then look at the
Yeah.
Ravagers. It's so cool seeing how each how the Guardians like interact with each group. It's so sick.
It's so sci-fi. Like so many of these movies are like classified as science fiction because they're superhero movies, but this feels like closer to sci-fi as like we notice like there's like the space faring, different factions, kind of dystopian type of thing. Here we get the second it's not ripe joke, which I really like. And then Drax jumping out of the back of the ship
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is so unbelievably funny.
Here you go. And he hit his shot too, might I add.
And he hit a shot. So shout out to him hitting his ult. And then I really liked how this sets up Ego's power. Like he flies it on the egg and just lightning blasts everything.
Yeah, I will say
And so immediately we're like,
this is where I have just a little nitpick because
go for it.
they're like they get out of the asteroid field and then they get surrounded. They're like, oh, they went around. Like that was an option. We could have just did that.
I mean, yeah, I think they went in the asteroid field to try to avoid them and like,
Well, I think the
um,
argument too is that it was just faster to go through the asteroid field.
yeah, it was 100% faster to go through.
So
Because as Gamora says, either one of them could have piloted through there just
Yeah.
fine.
So it's like the tiniest nitpick. I'm just gonna be a little bit of a dick to this movie for
Yeah.
literally one line,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna go immediately just to glazing it again because obviously
And you're,
ego shows
then
up
you're gonna go
now.
back to being like, dragging Drax is so funny.
Yep.
And okay, so then they crash. Is Drax like invincible? Because he's slamming into a tree after, like, I'm confused at like how.
No, he's
like,
not invincible.
Drax's
He's just
whole
got high
deal.
durability. Has he ever
He's just
like
high durability
bled?
because he's. I don't think so.
Well, Groot
Because
did
like
the thing
he's
where
just
he like
slamming into tree after.
yeah, but Groot did the thing in the first movie where he put his finger through him, but to
That's
get him
true.
to breathe. But
But that's piercing, whereas this is like bludgeoning.
I would also argue it could be piercing if it hits a tree right. But he also has a spacesuit on. You gotta remember that.
That's also true. So all of the bleeding's internal.
Yes. He's fine.
He just kept saying
Why are we worried about the goat right now?
he's so fine. It's crazy how fine he is actually. So then we get the crash, and they're called Harbulary batteries. No, they're not.
Mm.
Great callback to a joke that did not take place that long ago. And then Rocket describing him as a 1-inch man and saying, well, if he got closer, I'm sure he would have been much taller.
Love
I
that
say
joke.
that all the time. I make this joke all the time. And then I love how this continues Rocket not wanting to be called a raccoon. Like you get like this same arc.
They use it as like a
from last
slur in
movie,
this
like
movie. It's kind of crazy.
They do. It is crazy. And like I think it's like a really good continuation of his arc from the first movie, because you get that so much in the first movie and it's never truly resolved. They just stop calling him that. But now in the second movie, when they're mad, they do again, and he's like, I'm not a raccoon, don't call me that.
Trash Panda too.
Trash Panda is crazy.
And then them being
And
all so confused about is okay, I gotta stop talking about the banter in this movie. It's all good.
It's all so good. And then Ego appears, and then we cut away. And then he's back.
My goat. Howard the goat.
Howard is here. Why is Howard here?
He's my beloved. What do you mean?
It's so impressive how well this movie immediately characterizes Yondu.
Bro, just literally God, this movie looks so good. With him in the window too.
This movie looks so good. Oh my god.
The colors look so good.
Like, I think that we didn't talk about the color grading in Doctor Strange at all. The color grading in Civil War is very boring. The color grading in Doctor Strange is fine. The color grading here is so vibrant.
Yeah.
And I love it so much.
This movie just straight up is like probably the best looking movie in the MCU right now that we've watched.
Yeah.
I would
100%.
say it's better than Guardians 1 because Guardians 1 still's got like
yes.
those grays and stuff like that, which, you know, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I still think Guardians 1 looks
It's not
really
bad, no.
good. But this one, the colors pop, dude. The set design is crazy.
The colors pop so well in this movie.
The Sovereign just as a group looks insane and like, oh my god, James Gunn, come on, man.
They're so gold, dude. Like, they're comically gold. Chekhov's Horns of Freedom.
Yep.
And then I really like the line, if he's so soft, what are you whispering for?
I also do love that the Ravagers are like we don't traffic children, bro. What are we doing?
Yeah. We're evil. We're not villains.
We'll kill people,
we're
but
villains,
we're
not
like,
monsters.
We're not gonna kidnap.
We're not trying to
kids.
traffic children here. No, we don't do that here. Then the Sovereign appear here. I love the music swelling when the Sovereign appear, and then cutting when it like the carpet stops working, and then it comes back like nothing happened. Tyler Bates, great joke. Congratulations.
Yeah.
You guys like telling a joke through the score. That's good filmmaking.
Yeah, I do think that this movie, a lot of people like to bring up like James Gunn humor sometimes when it comes to his movie. I think the first one was a little bit more tame. This one we see it more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I like James Gunn humor, so I'm not complaining.
I don't think, because I even like thought about it while watching this. I was like, is this like egregious humor? And I don't think it is. Like, even the like sensitive nipples joke, I think the payoff for it later is not haha, the joke is nipples. The payoff later is haha, he puts on his spacesuit and then he screams at his nipples hurt as he rockets
I, I
away.
I think this one's just wackier. That's why I think the James Gunn
Yes.
humor is maybe something more talked
Yeah,
about from this point on.
that's true. I think like a good example of that is when we cut back and Drax says that he thought that Yondu was Peter's father, and Rocket just shouts, "One's blue!"
Yeah,
Like I think that's wacky humor, but I think that's one of my favorite jokes in the movie. Like I think it works really really well.
yeah. I think Drax is kind of the
Um,
personification of like gun humor that I like. So
yes, me too. And what's funny is I think that Drax has some of my least favorite jokes in Guardians 1, and I think he has like all of my favorite jokes in Guardians 2.
dude, I think he's hilarious in Guardians 1 though. I love him in Guardians 1.
I think he's funny in Guardians 1, but I think like of them, I think he just has a lot of my least favorite jokes. I think that he relies a lot more on the like nothing goes over my head. I'm too fast. I would catch it.
That's such a
Like
banger.
literalism.
That's so
It is a banger,
good.
but like I think he relies more on like the literalism jokes, whereas like here the like the it's also I think that Batista's delivery just gets better when he says like I don't know why they're after us. What a mystery this is.
Mhm.
It's like taking Drax's character's voice and using the jokes for that instead of like forcing jokes into Drax's
Well, I
character's
think
voice. I
the
feel
the
like
first one he was kind of less of a character because they just didn't have enough
that's true.
time to like he's still the character. He's the main character. He's here and stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
he was just
He's a
less
lot more one
focused
dimensional
on.
in one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this one adds a lot of depth to him.
Yes. I think the ego here, like appealing to Quill's, for lack of a better term, ego, is
Ego.
such a
Hee
good
hee.
way. Is such a good way to like get Quill, including like the being mean to Rocket and like. But I also love that Quill doesn't immediately like buy in
No,
because like
he's
yeah, of
like
course he would.
he fails. He straight up fails to appeal to Peter before Gamora talks to him.
Yeah, and that's awesome. And then I love Mantis and Drax so much.
Yup.
They're so funny in this movie. I think the interaction between Gamora and Quill is like a perfect continuation of their previous conversation and arc in Volume One. I think there's one that's like basically like it's called I titled the chapter "Cinematic Parallels." Um, but I think this conversation is such a good way of being like, no, they're like close.
Mm-hmm. They're not like dating, but they're like
No, no,
like they're
they're not
yeah,
dating, but like they're close to each other, and like they're they have a very meaningful friendship at this point.
yeah. Um,
So, what about the best needle drop in the movie?
yeah. I actually do have a lot to say about this one. Um,
Go for it. I'm gonna eat this cherry flavored Krabby Patty while you talk about Fleetwood Mac needle drops.
yeah. Well, it kind of surprised me because I remembered the chain playing later in the movie, but that's because this is one of the only songs, and as far as I can kind of think of right now, the only song to repeat in a Guardians movie, needle drop wise. But I really, 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 really love the chain playing here specifically because the lore behind that whole album with Fleetwood Mac, where the entire time they were making rumors that band just hated each other. This was their way of like um, getting their anger out with each other was by making songs where they're playing instruments and stuff. So like having songs talking about cheaters and liars and stuff like that, and then having the person that cheated on them sing in the song or play an instrument is so messy. I love that. And I love that that's so relatable to this cast of characters right now because they're also like if you think about as Fleetwood Mac making rumors, they're a band that has so much deeply rooted beef that decide to just lock in to make an incredible album and just put it into their work. That is the exact same thing these characters are doing, where they're putting the beef behind them and they're locking in to focus on what needs to be done. And like obviously with Fleetwood Mac, they pay for it later, and these characters do too because things don't go great. But at the end of the day, they unlike Fleetwood Mac, they work through it. And so I specifically love the chain in this movie. I love that's the only repeating song. And I do think this is like very intentional on James Gunn's part is this specific song from this specific album from this specific band. And that's my TED talk.
100%. Yes, 100%. It is. What's funny is I always remember this instance of the chain, and not the second one.
I just remember the second one because
This
big
is the one that
fight.
like, yeah, this is the one that like fully ingrained itself in my memory. So that's just very funny, the difference between how both of us see
Yeah, and it's
the
so
chain
it's
and then this movie.
so with the everything with the lore is just so well
It's
done.
so great.
Love it.
Um, and then you tell me that Peter still has the picture of David Hasselhoff. I'm gonna like, are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
and then I think this is also where um Rocket's main character arc really starts. Dude, he is. I forgot how like he's like genuinely like this. I would say in the first two Guardians movies, he's more the second main character behind Peter because the story revolves around Peter a lot more than Rocket.
Yeah,
But he
yeah,
has literally like the second biggest arc in both movies.
yeah. I would agree. He is the worst at the beginning of this
Yeah,
movie.
I would argue he has the better character arc in this movie than Quill. But
Yeah, I think so. I like Quill's arc, but I think Rise is better. Here we get personal quench. And then we go to the scene with Mantis, Drax, Gamora, and Peter in the ship. We get a personal question mention,
as an empath,
empath mention, and then Mantis fully outs our boy. But did she not know?
she don't know what.
Does she not know that like Peter's fully in love with her?
Who, Gamora?
Yeah, like I thought this was known.
It very much should be known.
Yeah,
I really
that's
think it's just to be a funny little thing. I don't really think it's supposed to be
yeah.
like
I
too
don't
crazy.
think I don't think Drax. I mean, no, because even Drax knows because the advice earlier. I think it's more of like a funny little thing, but I'm just like, I feel like they all know this. Like, I mean, it's still embarrassing to be like, no, but you're in love with her, but like at the same time, it's like,
If he didn't know, or she didn't know, that's low key embarrassing for her. Not gonna lie.
yeah, 100%. That's embarrassing for her. She doesn't know 100%. Um, Rocket destroys the Ravagers.
It's such a cool fight scene. I love it. I love
It
it.
is. It's so one sided until the arrow shows up, and then the arrow is just busted.
Yeah, I love that everybody, like even Rocket's, like, okay, well, I just lose.
Yep. I just fully lose. Rocket came out, or arrow came out. It's over. And then Nebula gaslights baby Groot.
Yeah, unfortunate.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
And then the triple payoff for it isn't ripe.
Yeah, I do love that
It's a
Yondu's like straight up like we're not stupid here.
yeah.
El Kraglin
Okay.
for turning.
El El Kraglin. So here's the thing. I think that them all betraying Yondu makes sense,
Mm,
but at the same time, he's right. You're gonna sell the batteries for a lot more than
yeah,
the Guardians.
yeah.
Like he just is right financially. If I mean, I get them being mad about like you're always protecting Peter. That's fair. That's
Hmm.
understandable. But you know,
Yeah, I buy it because I mean Yondu has been writing for Peter for like two movies
no,
now.
I fully buy it. But like at the same time, I'm like, come on, guys. Like let's think this through. I feel like you can just like sell these batteries for $1 billion.
Yeah, no, I agree. Um,
Yeah,
thing for third movie though, Rocket gets shot with stun gun but don't die.
true. So then we come back to Ego, the actual planet. We get like Celestials name drop, which is crazy. Once again, it is crazy how much like later MCU is set up in the Guardians movies.
It is kind of crazy because I mean Guardians 1 did the heavy lifting for Infinity Stones.
Yeah, for Infinity Stones and Thanos. Now Thanos is mentioned in Avengers, but like he's a bigger deal in Guardians One. That's just always funny. I forgot to say something about this movie before going into it. I saw this movie before I saw Guardians One.
Oh, okay, okay. That's kind of
I had not
crazy.
seen Guardians One at the time that I went and saw this movie. So, um, I will admit the emotional core of the movie did not. The ending with like some stuff did not fully hit with me because I hadn't seen the first movie. After seeing the first movie, it fully hits.
Yeah,
But you know,
I
um,
will unless you had a point you wanted to bring up real quick, but I just wanted to point this out. I love the costume design in this movie.
It's so
The
good.
fits are so tough. I love all of them so much with the
I
trench coats
love
and stuff.
Peter's. Yeah, like Peter's. Yeah, the trench coat. I think Ego's design is very, very
So
good.
sick. Oh, I love how everybody looks in this movie. Everybody's got the drippiest fits of all time, dude.
Yep. I think it's really interesting that like when you're first watching this movie, you're like, oh yeah, Ego just like made a human body. Sure, he's played by Kurt Russell. That's fine. And when you're on a rewatch, you're like, oh, he's just like a human body this time.
Yeah. He's just kind of choosing to be that right now for, you know,
Yeah,
sake of
and
convenience.
that's crazy. This is kind of like Epcot. It's like a museum, and you gotta wonder if he has a museum. How many times has he done the spiel?
Does he drink around the world?
I mean, he's gotta. He probably drinks around many
Yeah.
worlds. I mean, he drinks something around many worlds.
Yeah. Also, that is a beautiful call out for has he done this before? Because later in the movie,
We figure out he has. I love how locked in Peter is on like, if you loved her, why did you leave her? Like, even
yes,
among the
dude,
joy of meeting his father, he's so locked in on the fact that like, no,
you left my mom
my
and
I
me.
you left my mom. I watched my mom die in front of me, like and then so before like let's go ahead and do Ego Planet 2, which is like they cut to the mutiny and we got back to Ego Planet 2, where which is like they have it basically right after the scene, which is where Peter and Ego are like fighting and like kind of yelling at each other a bit about like, you know, why why did you leave my mom kind of stuff. I think it's so well done.
Yeah, no, I love that a lot too. And then
It's such like the dialogue is so good, and then Ego popping off when Peter generates the energy is so funny,
mhm.
but also so interesting because I think it means that Peter was the first one
Yeah, no, I think that's
to
like
actually
straight up
carry the
confirmed in
gene.
the movie.
I mean, he says it later, but like it's one of those things where it's like, no, it's like you see him like get excited because he's like, oh no, you do carry the gene, like you do it, like
Yeah,
it's real, like you see him kind of like realize it, and I love that so much.
yeah. I guess yeah, we'll just skip ahead to this scene because I mean all we miss is the Ravager scene with like the taser face joke. You know what I mean?
Good,
Um,
I mean, Taserface, good joke, and then Nebula trauma dumps on Cracklin.
yeah, and I like how dark this movie is a lot because
Yeah,
those Yondu's men literally just get sent out into space and executed. That's hard. Um,
it's hard.
but yeah, going back to Peter and Ego, love how much Peter just absolutely hates Ego because I mean, kind of does feel like his mom's death is a little on him, and the fact that he's was raised without a dad that sucks. Um,
Yeah,
Kurt Russell, you were so hungry in this movie. Holy shit.
dude,
Um,
he eats down.
couldn't stand to set foot on an Earth where she wasn't living. I understand what that's like. I had to watch her die. Come on, dude.
It that's such a crazy and like accurate clapback
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, okay, oh, it was hard for you. Oh, it was hard for you.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, and then like
then I mean, and then we have the reveal later that
yeah, and
makes
then
that
like you
even
said,
worse.
this is just Ego basically testing Peter to see if he's got that dog in him or
Yeah,
not.
and they play male manipulator catch.
Yep. Oh,
So
we got to talk
Drax,
about that Mantis and Drax scene. Yep.
yeah. So Drax is so mean to Mantis, but I love that he kind of doesn't realize it.
Yeah, no, he's flirting. Well, not flirting.
Well, let's look it up. Let's look up a straight ship for the second time on the show.
Oh wow, yeah. I'm gonna take my bite of pizza.
Of course I understand the terms of service. There's only 42 works. Are you kidding me? That's actually crazy low. I thought it was gonna be more. Huh. I don't love this ship, but still, I thought there was gonna be more.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with the ship, but
Yeah, I don't love the ship, but I was like, I feel like this scene opens the door. But wow, 42. That's quite low. Anyway,
it's just kind
I
of
think this
funny
is such
that
a
yeah. Hold on, it's just kind of funny that
yeah,
people respect this scene. In my head, they're respecting this scene so much, they're just like, I can't ship them.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, yeah. Also, Drax like talks about how he's not attracted to her at all and doesn't. So like, we 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 respect it when people say they're not attracted to
Hmm.
people.
He basically
Sometimes
says "bitch, you ugly" like a million times in the movie.
he does. It's crazy. I think this is such a like genuinely important moment for Drax as a character because until this point, like he talks about his family, this kind of stuff, but this scene you really like he's talking about his daughter, and then you let Mantis feel that,
Mm-hmm.
and without him having to be like, and I'm very emotional about this because he's not an emotional character, for the most part.
Yeah.
You get like Mantis reacting to this, and
Yeah.
congratulations, Palm. You are also hungry in this movie. Great job.
Yeah. And she just touches him while he
And
sits there perfectly fine, like just staring in
yeah,
the
and he's
distance,
just
and
there.
she bursts into tears.
Yeah, and then that's what makes her think I need to warn these people. And it's such a great way to like talk about both of their characters and like show both of their characters without explicitly being like, you know, Drax gets emotional about his family. Like you can see it through this.
Yeah. And then I love that Gamora comes out and she's like, "You're not ugly." Aww.
That's so
Aww.
nice.
That's so nice. And then she immediately
That's
clocks that something's wrong too.
yeah. I think that Gamora always thought something was wrong, and now she's like, "Oh, something's definitely wrong." Like she's like, "Oh, this is bad."
Yeah, she does
And then
say
when she's
earlier.
like,
She does say earlier, if he's evil, we'll just kill him.
it's just so funny. That's I think that's how a lot of D&D games that I've run have gone.
Pretty much. I mean, you got the character,
You
like
guys,
the new NPC, and it's like, all right, well, we'll follow him for now, but if he's evil, we'll just kill him.
yeah, that's how you guys run most D&D things. Interesting. So Rocket and Yondu do a breakout.
Yeah, and their pairing is so good. I love them
I
two
love their
together.
opening conversation here, and
Hmm.
it gets paid off later. Um, why are they so mean to
That's why
Groot?
I said stop being mean to Groot.
They're so mean to Groot.
He's just a
Um,
baby.
Groot trying to find the Finn is peak comedy.
My maternal instincts. Come here, baby.
It. I don't know what the funniest item he grabs is
The
because
toe.
the desk,
It's the toe.
the desk. It's no, but the desk is so funny because it's so loud.
I love the toe because the music just cuts out and everything.
That's true. I think that the ending of the scene not being that Groot successfully does it, but that like he grabs the wrong thing and Craglin's like, that's not it.
Yeah,
Like that Kraglin has to
because
come
then
help.
Kraglin's redeemed.
And Groot he just does not get it. He thinks you want to wear it as a hat.
Mm,
That's why you don't like hats. Like it's so funny.
when
It's also I
Kraglin,
think
no, go ahead.
it's a very good moment of levity
Mm,
after like, we're gonna get like very emotional in this movie. And like I think this is a very like nice, I don't say last moment of levity, but like it's one of the last moments of levity before we really get into it.
yeah,
And I like that it's Baby Groot.
yeah, because then you immediately Kraglin drops like the most heartbreaking performance line of all time, where he goes, "I didn't mean to do mutiny. They killed all my friends." And like the
Yeah,
bruh, it's so sad. And
it
the
is.
delivery, because that's James Gunn's brother, right?
It's Sean, yeah, Sean
Yeah,
Gunn.
Sean Gunn, dude, he ate that specific line up. Love him
Yeah.
as Kraglin.
That's not my favorite. That's not my favorite line from him in this movie, though. We'll get to my favorite line from him in this movie.
Um,
Um,
the escape is
the
peak.
prototype fin is so sick.
Yep.
The prototype fin is so sick. The escape is peak.
The lighting is
So I have a
so
quick
cool too when they're
question.
like putting on the fin. It's so sick.
Yes. Quick question about the Ravagers. Why would they not destroy the prototype fin?
I don't know. Well, I think it's also a thing because
Well,
anybody can use it.
that's true. They're also dumb.
Yeah, they're also dumb. The main guys right now is Taserface. Like, let's be for
Yeah, he's dumb. Getting to the security room so he can see everywhere
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is so smart, and then the camera moving vertically, and so it's the shot from above as you just watch the arrow fly around the whole ship. That's filmmaking.
Yeah. Dude, it's so I love yeah, the camera work is so nice. This whole set piece with like the bodies falling as they're like walking through that rail space or whatever. It's so sick.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
And great needle drop here too.
Yup.
Um, is this Chekhov's taser face from like 2 scenes ago?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a throw on Yondu's part though, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Sovereign showing up messed up a lot.
Yeah. 700 jumps is really funny. Like Rocket just, and it's very funny. And then also you have like the character one of Rocket being like, no, we're going to help them. Like
Yeah.
we ended on like they left there on terrible terms, fighting, yelling at each other. But the second it's like, no, we are going, we are helping. Like
He locks in once he
not even
realizes
thinking of the
his
risk.
squad is in danger. I get it, dude.
Yeah, it's great. What about cinematic parallels? So this Peter and Gamora scene is basically a continuation of the scene from the first movie. And I love that they still don't end in a great place. Arguably, they end in a much worse place.
Sam Cooke mentioned too, by the way.
Yeah. But, like, I love that he says, I finally found my family. Don't you understand that? She said, I thought you already had.
Yeah, I do love the little levity that the little dance brings too, because you finally get that moment of, oh, maybe they could work, you know? And then, especially with, you know, how miserable some scenes in this movie are, and some of the themes here, and how it's about to get even darker.
Yep.
Yeah, she locks in, just breaks away because I mean, I get both sides when it comes to their discussion though.
He's under the dad sauce at this point.
Yeah.
He's not fully bought in, but he's pretty bought in. And she's like, I thought like that we were a family. And then
well, he's being a little bit more of a child when it comes to this argument, but like he's also vowed because she explicitly told him to come here and to try and, you know, get closer with his dad. And now as soon as he starts like connecting dots and, you know, unlocking his ego powers, she wants to leave. So I get it from his side, but like obviously from her side, we should leave.
So then Nebula crashes in with the ship.
It's the most insane set piece of the entire movie.
It's insane set piece, so in character.
It is. It's awesome.
Like, this fight between them is so great. Karen Gillian does not get her flowers for how good she is in this movie. Like, Nebula's fairly one-dimensional in Volume 1, and she just expands so much in this movie. The performance is so good. This fight between them is so great. Like, it's just, this is a very, very good set piece.
Nebula, as always, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, you know?
Yep. You know how she goes. The Logan special.
Literally.
So Ego goes full male manipulator.
One thing I love about this is that he twice in back-to-back sentences mentions as long as the light exists, he'll be alive in the planet. I'm like, dude, are you trying to get him to kill you?
We're just setting this up over and over again. So Peter being immortal is crazy.
Yeah. Kind of nuts. And Ego's trying to soft launch him to leave quote unquote mortal pleasures.
Yeah. He's like, nah, man. This is the reverse of a man's quest for women. Like he's like, no. You do not get.
Chase the bag.
No, he wants him to go full nofap.
Yeah, chase that bag, dude. You don't need no hose.
Chase the bag. I think this Mantis and Drax scene is very funny. I'm trying to remember what this scene is. I just wrote down Mantis and Drax scene.
Well, I just said that they directly confirmed that they aren't romantically into each other, so I also don't.
Oh, really yes. Know. Yeah. I love Peter fully drinking the Kool-Aid at the exact same time that Nebula and Gamora find the skeletons.
Yup. It's so cool. Like it's so sick.
Cutting between it, and you're like, oh, no.
It's so cool. It's so I'll bring it up later with the obvious reveal, but like everything like kind of happening at once is so sick.
It's so awesome. I love it. Then so this is I have like 2 more sections, which is like the third act. Or I have 3 more, I guess. Which is the third act like chart, and the third act proper, and then the post credit stuff. So I think this is really where like the third act of the movie really starts, right? And what's crazy is pacing wise, it feels like we've flown all the way here.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Stan. Stan shows up for a
Hi,
second.
Stan. I love this cameo because he brings up
This
the
is your favorite
FedEx.
one.
It might be because he brings up the FedEx stuff, and so you're like, wait, is he the same guy?
It's the same guy. I think this is perfect dialogue and perfect delivery from Yondu.
Yeah, he reads him like a book.
Reads him like a book. This is the culmination of Yondu's arc in this movie. This is the culmination of Rocket's arc in this movie. Like this is him being like, "No, I know who you are,
Yeah,
and we're gonna put a pin in it for later."
Michael Rooker, you are hungry.
Yes,
Congratulations.
he. What a performance!
Um,
This third act culminates and starts so well.
yeah, and then like I said, this is kind of where everything just starts happening right now. Like the whole movie was
Yeah,
building up to this moment where like Gamora and Drax are talking while because they know what's happening as Peter's also finding out. It's so
yeah.
cool.
I love the lines. All any of you do is yell at each other. You're not friends. He goes, "We're family. We don't leave anyone behind." And I'm like, "Yes."
Fast and
Drax says
Furious.
Ohana means family,
Mm-hmm.
and family means no one gets left behind.
Fast and Furious,
Drax would
baby.
love Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
That is Fast and Furious.
The bodies are his children. Is a horrifying line.
Horrifying line, horrifying delivery. Good job, Palm. You were also hungry.
Ego went
I
through a
love,
hoe phase.
yeah, true. I love Quill starting to break out a little bit when thinking about his friends,
Mm-hmm.
and then, you know, it broke my heart to put that tumor in her head.
Yeah. Well, Ego also says, dude, I love the subtle lines too because that just go by fast. Where Ego says, I said I'd never hurt them. I mean, that was true. They never felt a thing. Bruh.
Yeah,
And then I also said this is just kind of low key Invincible season 1.
it is kind of. That's true.
Uh,
This is,
and then obviously, it broke my heart to put that tumor in her head is a perfect line. Genuinely one of my favorite single lines of a movie.
yeah. The
Never,
dolly zoom. I love,
never gonna forget seeing it for the first time.
dude. I love how Ego feels safe saying it
Mm-hmm.
because he thinks he has him. Like he's so arrogant that he thinks that nothing he says like he's like, no, you let go of your friends, and he's like, yeah, I'm letting go of my friends. But the second, and he's like he thinks he has him, and the second he brings up his mom, it's no hesitation, he just opens fire.
Yup.
Perfect character moment. This is the culmination of the last two movies. This is, and like we keep saying, like this is a very in character thing. Rocket selling the batteries, Nebula crashing the ship, Drax's stoicism, and that scene with Mantis. This is the most in character moment, I think,
Yeah.
in this entire movie. It is just no hesitation, open fire, go, pew 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 pew. It's great, and then Ego just loses it.
Your mom was more like a pet to me.
Can always start again.
Make another kid. But no, I love this whole sequence.
It's perfect. Not to undercut it. Do you think that blue blob kind of looks like Seth Rogen's character in Monsters vs. Aliens?
Like the sludge, like that's going on the planets.
Yeah.
I could see it.
Also, like, did that stuff like go away at the end of this movie? You think?
No, no. I think it's probably something that could be like removed, but
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
straight up do get just deleted when it touched them.
Yes.
So, oh we skipped over the Walkman getting squished. That's not cool, dude.
Oh, he does squish his Walkman. Yeah. This the sludge that erases people.
Yeah, and then I also love that Yondu straight up is like when him and Peter meet back up, he's like, well, I wasn't gonna turn you over when I found out what he was doing to these kids,
Yeah. I wrote down. I love Yondu and Peter's banter here when they get when we get into the third act proper, when they get into like talking to each other. I think it works very very well. And then once there's real danger, they lock in.
Yep.
They're working together.
Yep.
Also, here's an interesting thing. So the line, this whole exchange starts with, "So we're saving the galaxy again, awesome," and this whole exchange of dialogue between a few of the Guardians. This dialogue, it plays on the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind roller coaster. I thought it was original for the ride until I watched this movie again and went, "Hey, wait a minute, I recognize all of this."
W. W roller coaster.
So
I don't rock with the
there's
roller
it's
coasters though,
God,
so
it's such a good ride, dude.
you can
And
keep
then we
that.
have my favorite Kraglin ride. For my favorite Kraglin line
Raglan
happens now.
line or ride?
The Kraglin ride is called Sean Gunn. The Kraglin line is when he goes soup, soup to Wham Bam Shangalang. It's my favorite line from him in this movie.
um,
So this soundtrack changed lives. Parentheses mine. And this song went like triple platinum in my car in the summer, like windows down, on country roads.
well, yeah, that's
I just,
peak
I
right
just,
there.
I just need that to be known that this soundtrack, this is my favorite Guardian soundtrack
Yeah,
of the three movies. This is
as
my
a
favorite one.
kid, Mr. Blue Sky blew my mind seeing that for the first time.
Yeah. What a gorgeous third act set piece.
Yeah, I will say, slight nitpick. Just get Peter off the planet and then continue doing y'all thing. Just saying. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Y'all right about trying to kill him.
Yes, for sure. But get Peter out of there.
Get Peter out of there so the universe doesn't end, please. Thank you.
Yes. It looks so great.
Oh, it's so cool.
This is Chekhov's Harbulary batteries.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. Love it. Drax believes in Mantis. Wait, never mind. No, he didn't. Great joke. Fantastic joke.
The Baby Groot and bomb bit.
I love the Groot bomb scene. I feel like this is payoff for the Finn scene earlier.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that the tape exchange is one of the funniest things ever.
I was gonna say I really love it. I think it's funny. The banter. This is gonna hurt. Promises. Promises.
It's great.
The flying with the arrow. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Iconic.
Peter's right. Mary Poppins is cool.
Yeah. The sick ass money shot. Yes, dude.
The score, Tyler Bates, I love you.
The nipples line again.
And then Mantis, look out. Chekhov's nipple chafing.
Oh my god.
And then Ego turns into like the big face and like the tentacles. This would be a great near boss fight. I'm just saying. Like, I know you've never played Nier. This would be like a perfect near boss fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get sad because the mask breaks, and I love this mask design so much.
Dude, I know.
And now it's
Yondu is so cool in this scene too. With the arrow and the fin is so cool. Gamora and Nebula, Loki don't do anything in the entire fight, but
they Loki. Oh, I mean, they're like in like the escape mode.
Yeah,
because like we all got to get out of here.
Yeah, I get sad every time seeing the arrow break though.
I know, because it like the arrow's been so powerful throughout all of it. It feels like, oh no, this is bad now. And then, Skeleton Ego reforming as he walks forward and talks is so sick.
And then it feeling so hopeless is yummy, yum 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 yum.
I love it. I love the third act of this movie.
People get deleted by goop.
And then we get Chekhov's The Chain. No, I'm cutting that.
No.
And then we get Chekhov's The Chain, baby.
Yup. It be the only repeat song. Come on, dude. Perfect.
Quill and Ego have their anime fight. It's awesome. Dude, I love this movie so much.
Shouldn't have killed his mom and squished his Walkman is all I'm saying. Me personally.
Shouldn't have. This is such the Glaze cast. As I'm reading through my notes again, this is the Glaze cast, bro.
Yeah.
I don't think I've said something that I don't like about this movie.
I just have nitpicks every now and then. I have a little bit towards the end. It's just stuff I haven't really brought up, but more like alluded to.
Yeah.
But
I love Tyler Bates' score as Rocket and Groot fly off, and then
everybody
Rocket shooting Gamora.
Yeah, I was about to say everybody hating Rocket for a little bit because they're all like, "Well, where's Peter?
So
where's Peter at? Where's Yondu?"
It's so good. It's so good. When your villain is on like the back pedal, like there's a couple of things you can do with them to like, where they take your character. Making Ego become like desperate and like screaming desperate is such a good choice.
Yeah. Him like melting after the bomb goes off too is so cool.
It's so good. And then Yondu.
I was about to say Yondu low-key drops like my favorite line in the movie. He may have been your father, boy, but he wasn't your daddy. Come on, man.
I'm gonna kill myself. I'm actively crying. Peter has watched 3 of his parents die in front of him.
Yup.
Tyler Bates, you are insanely talented. Here's your triplicate of mentions. Phenomenal.
Rip Yondu, dude.
And then
You're the goat.
Peter drops one of my favorite lines. Sometimes that thing you're searching for your whole life is right there by your side all along, and you don't even know it.
Yep.
It's so good.
And this is the part where I realized that Thanos doesn't even show up in this whole movie.
He doesn't. But I love Nebula going out to kill Thanos. Like, that's her. She's like, no, this is what I want to do. And it's such a great payoff for her character in the last 2 movies, where she's like, no, I'm going to kill Thanos.
Zune is crazy.
Zune is a crazy job.
That's a crazy pool.
It's so funny. And then you bring in Cat Stevens.
Mm-hmm. And then the Ravagers showed up, bro. They showed up.
It's so... And then she says... And then Gamora hits the some unspoken thing. And I get mad at the again.
Yeah. And then Rocket, Loki... I lied to you earlier when I said Yondu dropped my favorite line. Rocket drops my favorite line where he goes, he didn't chase them away. And then Peter's like, well, of course not. And he said... And he stole batteries he didn't need and stuff like that. Bro, this shit made me tear up.
It's so good.
This shit made me tear up.
The last shot of this movie is just on Rocket, and then it cuts. And I need you to put a pin in that for later.
James Gunn, how the hell did you make me tear up? Because your last shot is of a raccoon crying.
What an insane
big dog
thing.
Come on.
What an insane thing.
Like 3 post-credit scenes happen.
4 post-credit.
Yeah.
There's so many post-credit scenes. So the Ravagers one does not matter.
Yes.
Hi, Miley Cyrus. Number 2, Born Again. I am convinced James Gunn thought that he was going to have the Soul Stone.
Yeah, because it's like glowing right there.
I think they told James that he was going to have the Soul Stone.
I'm kind of low-key... So I feel like he didn't read the script to Infinity War a little bit.
I don't think the script to Infinity War was done.
Okay, it probably wasn't. So don't blame him at all because they clearly just wrote stuff without telling him.
Teenage Groot. Funny joke.
Cute little post-credit
Why
scene.
is Howard back?
Because that's my GOAT!
And then, oh, hi, Stan again.
Yeah, I love the Stanley bit, though.
There's like 4 post-credits in this movie for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah. Overall, good movie.
Good movie. I think that this is my favorite Guardians movie. I guess spoilers for the Volume 3 podcast in like a few months. But this is my favorite Guardians movie. I think that the emotional core between Peter and Ego and Yondu works so well, and then the Venn diagram there being Yondu and Rocket works so incredibly well, and leads into the third movie. It leads into everything that's coming after this so well. Tyler Bates' score just is incredible throughout this whole movie. The Guardians theme, fantastic, amazing. Give me 17 more of these movies right now. This has just been the Glaze cast. Like that, and they choose my review is also just gonna be the Glaze cast. But I can't talk enough about how much I enjoyed this movie and how much like I was so excited to watch this movie again. And I think this movie quite a few times and being just excited to be like, yeah, I'm just gonna watch it again because it's funny and I like it. And it's so funny. Like I'm laughing out loud at jokes that I've seen tons of times. So
yeah, I know. I love this movie a lot too. For me, I still prefer the first one. That's my favorite. But this movie's about as good, you know. I think it's just got like 1 or 2 more snags for me. I think the pacing of the first one is just a little bit better for me because that one just it just flies on by. I think the story of the first one's also just a little bit more focused, but that's like kind of it. I wish Gamora and Drax were a little bit more in this movie because Drax gets more character and stuff like that, but they don't really got a ton to do.
yeah.
But those are, I mean, I could consider some of those nitpicks. Some of them not, but some of them I could. But yeah, pretty much everything I have good to say about this one I said about the last one. The characters peak, writing's peak. The score and the costume design are both underrated. The needle drops are perfect. Specifically in this one, I love the needle drops in this movie. The visuals are well done. And for me, saying the emotional beats work for a Marvel movie is crazy. I love James Gunn is really good at writing emotional stuff and getting me to tear up because I'm a little bitch.
I'm crying every time I watch this movie.
Yeah, the end. God. Anyways, Ego is a great villain. Love his reveals. The tone in this movie is unmatched. I love the themes that they talk about. Yeah, I do. I love this movie a lot. Just like a hair less than the first one, but I love this movie a lot too. Do I have
What's
to
your
give
number?
do I have to give a score first?
You have to score first, yeah.
I'm gonna reflect what you did for the first one. I'm gonna say 9.5,
That
but
way I have to say it's a 10.
that way you have to say it's a 10, so I'm gonna be like, okay, I'll give it a 10.
It's a 10. This movie's a 10 out of 10.
It's a 9.5, but I'm gonna raise it to a 10. We round up here.
We famously don't round up. We famously round down.
That's for movies that deserve it. This movie deserves to be raised up.
This movie does deserve to be raised up. I love this movie so much. Next week, we get to watch a Spider-Man movie.
Oh, yeah, yippee! I'm actually happy.
Spider-Man Homecoming is next week. The 2017 film Spider-Man Homecoming.
My opinion of Spider-Man Homecoming is